Welcome to the Kin of Comedy podcast. I am your host, Jerrica Brooks.
I'm Dante Hill.
I'm Talon Harris.
I'm Julio Diaz.
He's rolling over from a different episode.
Yeah, we
we
shooting
might as
another
well keep
one.
him here.
Hell yeah, we told him he can't leave yet.
So how was y'all week? What'd y'all do?
Mine was cool.
Mhm.
I shot a video.
Oh,
Not
dope.
far from here at a warehouse. I'm dropping a project hopefully sometime in the next 2 weeks. It's so easy now, the timeline with those distribution services, so I'll
Mhm.
figure that out. But I just want to have a few videos ready to go, so I shot that. Had a little photo shoot at the same time. It was productive.
Oh, yeah.
Word.
Me, work, couple shows.
Mhm.
Actually just came from a show before I came here at a smoke shop in Bushwick. That was interesting.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
You showed me a picture of it. Look dope.
Yeah.
Aesthetic.
Yeah.
This nigga, bro.
Yo, tell me one of the funniest niggas I know.
Yeah.
It was calm, man. It was nice, man.
Were you there?
Not
Did you
too
go in?
not too
No.
cold.
Oh.
Nah, man. He took a night off.
Oh, yeah, you did say that on the
Mm.
previous episode.
But yeah.
Julio, you want to run us through your week too?
Yeah.
My week, same thing. I wake up for work in the morning and then I go to the shows at night. Kind of the same routine, which is why I took the night off today.
A few days
That's
ago we
nice.
had Give Me a Break comedy show.
Show was fire.
At
Oh,
Barry
yes, plug
Electric
it, plug
every
it.
Oh,
Saturday.
nice. Dope, dope.
7
Every
p.m.
Saturday. Every
That
Saturday.
was a vibe.
Yeah.
Give Me a Break comedy show every Saturday. What time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hop out, show love.
Yes.
How was your week?
Guys, I've been resting.
Yeah, your shit look crazy.
I've been
You had to go
resting
last.
finally. I posted a reel this week.
She's like, I took a nap.
Yeah.
I took a nap because I am tired. We just got off tour. Our last day was in Cleveland, but I posted a reel and I did 5 cities in 5 days. And I've never done anything like that before. I was very exhausted. We took trains, planes, cars, like throughout the city. Where we started at?
How was the shows?
Oh, it's always fun. The shows are always fun. It's just
Yeah.
it's just exhausting.
Does
And I
the
hate saying I'm
in-between-
tired because I feel like my dad be exhausted.
I
Yeah.
So I
hear
try to be quiet, like,
Try to humble it.
but I try to, I'm so sleepy. like,
yeah, it's real though.
but it's real. It's hard work, but it's a good time.
Mhm.
We had to Philly. I did Philly, New York, and then DC, Vegas, and I ended up in LA. I
Wow.
stayed in LA for a couple days because it was cold here. And I didn't have to rush back. And I was
Mhm.
ready over there, and then I came back.
Oh, must be nice, huh?
Yeah.
She's like, I just
When
stayed
y'all,
in LA. It's
when y'all hit
fucking
all those
cold.
cities, do you get time to kick it? Like, do you get to hang out a
So
little
my
bit?
dad always laughs at me because I make friends with everybody at the club.
Yeah.
So he'll be
You
like, "Where
do.
you at?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm hanging out with the hostess." Like
Yeah,
I'll be at
yeah.
the bars, like drinking
That's a
and having a good
fact.
time. I love going and making friends. So then when I go to those cities later on, I like either go back to the club and hang out, or I'm like just hanging out with the people that I met and stuff. So I do get a little bit of time, but most of the time we have to be up. Like when we did New York to DC, I laid down for 15 minutes and had to be up at 3 a.m. to get on the train.
Yeah.
And then be back in New York at 7. So like most of the time we don't really get a chance to like
Sheesh.
enjoy
Yeah.
stuff. So when tour is over, I'll be like ready to take
That's
a
when you
nap.
get
So
to take your nap.
trying to catch up. But yeah, I think today we're gonna talk about nepotism.
Ooh.
It's gonna be a really good episode, I think, because this one, I feel like I kind of deal with this a lot, and I'm sure you guys do as well.
Yeah, because this
So-
was your concept. You
It
came up with
was.
this
This was
idea, so
my
it had to
idea
be on your mind.
because I feel like I deal with this
Because
guilt
I
all
was
the
like, what?
time, and I have to get this shit off my chest. So
You got
Uh-huh.
nepotism guilt?
I do.
She said, I got the nepotism episode ready. I said, nepotism.
I was like, did you
Like,
know what that
oh,
means?
nah.
You know how to
It's
check.
like, I know what that means. I do.
But, since we're here, I did write the dictionary version of it on my computer. So I'll be reading it. Okay. Nepotism. The practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs.
Hmm.
So what do you guys think about it? We could just start there.
I've
Overall as a
always
concept.
kind of felt like I've never looked up the definition, but I've always just assumed it's like anytime you benefit off of like the name of a parent, right? Or
Yeah, a parent,
history of
relative,
parent,
somebody
right.
that puts you on,
Mhm.
basically.
So even if it's not a job, right?
No,
So let me
yeah.
ask then, because according to the definition,
Mhm.
maybe it's not as broad as I thought. Tell me what
Mhm.
y'all think. If you benefit off of what other people associate with a parent's name, is it
Mhm.
nepotism? If it's not directly through the parent?
What you mean, like you get an opportunity?
Yeah,
because
like
they
if
just
know
someone
your
gives me an
parent?
off the string.
opportunity because
Yeah,
they
yes,
want
yes.
the association. That is
yes,
nepotism.
yes, that's it.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
He's like,
Because
okay.
I've always like,
I use
because
that.
I've always seen it with
Yeah,
like
I've
white,
done
it's
that.
like
I've
with
done
rich
that.
white parents, it's always like they put their kids in places. They have all these relationships and like always like
Yes.
stereotypically in the movies and shit. They have all these relationships, so they put you in places.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, for you to win. But if they don't put you in that position, if they don't put you in a position where they know you're secure, where you don't have to work because of the relationships they have established, is that the same? Because people can use you for a story that you're associated with that they feel like they could benefit off of. But in that sense, whatever you get out of that is what you flip out of, you know, and how you utilize that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's. I feel like it would still apply to nepotism.
feel like
it's just
you-
like a whack.
Yeah.
I feel
version
like
of it.
There's
you
levels
can't
to it,
help
though.
it.
I feel like
Yeah.
you just look at the word as negative.
Yeah,
Right, you
I've
don't
never
have
seen a
to.
positive association with
Really?
it. Yeah,
People
yeah.
get jealous of it though. People get really upset about it. you
Maybe
know?
that's why, because I've never liked to feel like that, and I don't think I've benefited in a crazy way, and I feel like I've had negative interpretations towards me from
Mhm.
people, you know, in their engagement with me out of assumptions because of
Right.
who my pops.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where
Know
the
what I
guilt.
mean?
I feel like that's where the guilt comes from.
Yeah,
Like it always is looked at as like a negative thing, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's like that because let's say you had kids, right, and you want them to be the best they can be, and you have a way to get them, you know, somewhere. Wouldn't you help them?
yeah,
Like
of
why?
course.
Like, and I just feel like that's a
No, of
normal thing
course.
to do, but it feels like not. And of course, like the people who are upset about it are the people who aren't afforded the same opportunities. They
Right.
don't have those connections, so they do look at it like, oh, like good for them, where people have to start from the bottom. But it's like, if my family member is heavily connected, why would I not use that?
Yeah,
I don't think it should be looked at as
yeah.
negative. It's
I know like with my dad, like he's not like my pops is a New York legend, right? I
Mhm.
think he's respected for his craft, how good he is as a comic, and I don't think that that's something that's understated, right?
Right.
In the field. With that said, I don't think that his success reached the level where my upbringing was affected in a way where his success changed my circumstances and my reality. There were points where I was bullied because people knew who my pops was, and when I was like a kid, I just wasn't, you know, I wasn't like cool.
Those
I wasn't.
are-
I didn't cool out till like
Those are
13.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was.
14.
We gotta get a
Yeah, I
all
didn't get an
counter.
all counter. Yeah, I didn't get like
can put it
like
at the
cool
bottom
at
of
all
the
till like
screen.
13, 14. So like, I used to get picked on for stuff, and it's like, damn, is that nepotism? Because it's just because
I mean,
now
nepo-
it's the association with my dad,
The
right?
negative, that's not
Is that-
nepotism. then.
Right.
No.
But what I'm
That's
saying,
like-
even the positives wasn't my dad. It
That's-
wasn't him directly. Like my pops never gave me a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, there's niggas that might have let me smoke with them
That was
because they
part
like
of the
$8.
definition, right?
It's
But
an
Getting a
especially
job.
a job though.
You know what I
Especially
mean?
a job.
That's
but
why I'm
other
wondering like where the
opportunities, too.
specifics of it like kind of like
Yeah.
drift off.
What do you feel? You think nepotism is negative, positive,
Yo,
neutral?
I think it all depends on like, okay, so I think everybody, unless you really, really had like, so like nobody in your life that like could, if you came from like bad sources in life and you had parents that just could not do something for you because they didn't do anything, I think if you have good parents or at least one person in your life, I think everybody has some form of it that you're gonna get help from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, nepotism for me would be like my father is a city worker and my mother works at a hospital. So my mother probably could have got me a job at the hospital. And my father, if I was to get a job as a city worker, he knows certain people in unions and probably could help me. Or like I've met people that their father was a sanitation worker, so he got his, regardless you got to take the test, but like when you get on the job, he could do certain favors
Mhm.
for you, right?
Yeah.
But like we all have something of that in our form of life, like
No, that's a
somebody.
fact. That's
It's
And
true,
I think
yeah.
it all
Yeah.
depends like what
Mhm.
the person is hating on.
Yeah.
Right.
They want
Yeah.
that.
No, that's
good
a
point.
fact.
That's a good
And I think
point.
that's where I'm kind of coming from, because you never really hear the word nepotism applied unless it's in that negative circumstance.
Right.
Because I've never heard anybody refer to somebody getting like a
Mhm.
traffic job through an uncle.
Yo, we
know
all
what I'm saying?
make
It was
connections
drastic.
in
What
life.
about
Yeah,
fucking-
it's like
Right.
networking.
What about George
Right.
Bush?
Yeah,
Right.
right. But people bring that up
A
as
whole
nepotism, but
president.
negatively because people hated his presidency. No,
I
I mean, I
mean,
feel like I always hear nepotism brought up with like being silver spoon. You know what I mean? Which is you never hear silver spoon used positively. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or
Right.
you could say that you grew up well. You know, you grew up underprivileged.
Right.
It's
When you hear
always-
silver spoon, it suggests that it has a connotation to the idea that you don't understand how the world functions from the ground level
Hmm.
in a way that normal
So
functioning
if you
people
didn't get it
do.
from the bottom, it don't really
Yeah,
matter.
right.
But, like,
mm-hmm.
If let's say for instance, my grandfather's a shoemaker. My dad's a shoemaker. He's like putting him on to become a shoemaker, and then I'm a shoemaker.
Right.
It's just in the family. I feel like it's a family
Hell yeah.
business thing, and I think that's okay.
No, I think it's okay. Yeah.
And
I
that's why
don't
I
have
think it's
any
to be
issue
negative.
with it. Yeah.
But
It's just the way that I've always heard it. I've just
Yes.
never really heard it used
Mhm.
positively.
I feel like it's not negative or positive. I just feel like your skill set it's gonna even out anyway, because like
Mhm.
you could get an opportunity because of your parent,
Yeah.
but if you're not doing the job,
can't keep
you're
it.
gonna lose a job.
Right.
Right.
So
Mhm.
like, for example, my dad, he told me that he waited for me to get a year doing stand-up comedy before he was in any way like help me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like hands-on giving me advice, because he wanted to make sure this was something I really want to do. I'm pretty sure he met mad people that started
Mhm.
doing comedy
Right.
less than
Yeah.
a year, and then they, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
not no
Yeah.
like, it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Right.
it's like,
Right. Even that's circumstantial though, right? Because then if you think about like Bush, like who we just used as an example, that's somebody who we could use for an example of nepotism, who I don't think many people would say, if you can't do the job well, it's not like you'll keep it, because he kept it.
he
You
did.
know, you just have a lot of examples of
did
that,
say
specifically when we talk about white people. And again, that's why I'm saying it. Not
But
like on some
also, like,
anti-white shit. Don't Kanye
you
me.
can't really
just-
get fired as a president, can you?
You could be impeached. I mean, there's definitely
Unless
we definitely have seen more examples of nepotism in white culture. Is white culture a term?
Even Bill.
And
Right,
why-
right, and white, but yes, and
Bill
I think
Clinton.
that's where the guilt comes from with
Yeah.
people of color. I think white people do that shit all the time,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
so uncomfortable with
Yeah.
having opportunities. We
So it's
feel
okay
guilty.
for
I don't
people
think
of
you
color
should.
to do nepotism.
What's up?
Nepotism is okay for minorities.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, because we deserve more than that.
It's okay.
I'm
It is okay.
an advocate for reparations.
least
But
we
I
could
think
do.
we feel guiltier than people who aren't.
Do
people
you
of
feel
color.
guilty?
I feel guilty all the
Word?
time. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I have to go the extra mile.
Mm,
I feel like I have to prove myself. I have
Yeah.
to work harder because I don't want people to just be like, "Oh, well, she only got this because
yeah.
her dad is
Yeah.
so and so." Like, I got to be honest, my dad is he is a client at UTA, which is where when I moved from here from my regular marketing job and I went to LA, and I was like, wait, I worked at the mall. I worked at Lush. Shout out to Lush. My 50% discount was
Hey.
amazing. But
Shout out Lush.
I said, I didn't know what I really wanted to do. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just do entertainment marketing. But how do I get into it? I didn't really have a lot on my resume. I had to be about 24 at the time. Just working retail. And I asked him, I was like, you think you can help me get to UTA? I met with one of his agents and they were like, yeah, of course, he'll help you push through. But to be honest, almost everybody that works at UTA is getting pushed through by their aunt, their uncle, like either a client or they already work there. Like unfortunately, that's how entertainment is. Like you kind of get put on,
Connection.
Yeah,
by
yeah.
connections.
For sure.
If it's your relative or if
Mhm.
this is a friend.
I mean,
or
that's
friend.
essentially what networking is, period. You
Yeah,
can meet somebody at a
exactly.
brunch, and then that's just somebody who liked you, and now they want to give you opportunity
Exactly.
next week. Right.
So, and then that's kind of unfolded into the rest of my career. It all started there. I'm grateful,
Mhm.
but I also worked my ass off
Yeah.
to prove myself.
Right.
It wasn't easy. The job wasn't easy at all. Yes, the door was open for me, and I do feel guilty sometimes.
Are you aware of the degree of space between you and some other people when you experience those feelings? Because your father's level of celebrity isn't it's not small by any means. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it's not even like he's just like well known. He's debatably one of the biggest comics alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And bigger than just comedy
Yeah.
at this point, because of all the commercials, just everything he's associated with.
Yeah.
I can't escape him. He's playing a video
I
game today.
know.
He was on the radio in the game. So he
Oh, I
recorded
know.
it for the game.
Yes,
like
I
Grand
know.
Theft Auto. I saw him on YouTube, like
Yeah.
buses.
He's
you can't
literally
escape
an
him.
emperor.
Right.
He's Caesar.
So my experience and talents, and we do got to get into yours too. But yours is gonna be interesting because y'all both in comedy. But
right.
I'm sure that ours isn't
Mhm.
close to yours, because you
Mhm.
could be in a space where like now reality is skewed for you a little bit, because people would lie to you in a different way than they would to us
Right.
about how they fuck with you,
Right.
just because of who you're associated with.
Yeah.
Even with your job performance, I could see
Right.
somebody gassing it. You have to have a certain level of confidence.
Mhm.
I know you, so I
Right.
know how you move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that takes the personal relationship being applied to who you are, and I can
Right.
imagine with strangers that's not there. Do you
Yeah.
feel the level of that?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Damn, that's whack.
Yeah, it's whack sometimes.
I'm gonna hug you when it's over.
Yeah, it's whack sometimes. It's just I don't know. I want people to take me seriously, and I also think as a Black woman, it's also I'm
Yeah.
also like fighting 10 different battles already. You know, you guys understand as people of color and men at that, but I'm like I want people to take me seriously. I feel like I have to like really put my foot down when I'm in rooms. Like I'm serious about this. Like, you know, and I'm working hard, and I had to redo my resume for another job that I just applied for, and I looked at that shit and I was like, yo, I did all this shit. I didn't have to lie no more. And it felt good. Like, and I did that stuff. Yes, the door opened. My dad helped me open the door at UTA, but everything else was me. Like, I got picked up from somebody from Sofia Vergara's company came and asked me to move over, not knowing who I was or anything.
Oh, they didn't make
Nobody
that
knew.
They
So they didn't make the connection.
wow.
No, they asked me to come over there, and I did, and I left. I mean, and I worked there for a little bit. Then
it's not like
came.
you Jerrica Smoove out here.
Right,
Yeah,
like there's
right.
no way to
Yeah, the
really
Brooks.
know. Right, my last name is Brooks. No one really knows my dad's government name like that. People think his last name is Smoove all the time.
Edit.
Which is so weird.
Mr. Smoove.
So, you know, it did start there, which is cool. But
Yeah.
everything else I've done, you know, by myself.
Yeah.
Also,
Yo, she works her ass off, y'all. Just so y'all know.
Yeah.
I've seen Jerrica behind the scenes do a lot. And even her
Yeah.
relationships with spaces like where we record this podcast, that a lot of that comes off of the strength of relationships that she's built and that she's fed into and watered in order to be able to have people extend her opportunities.
Right.
You know, so I've seen it firsthand. For
appreciate
sure.
y'all.
Definitely. But how about you, dog?
It's
Like,
okay.
same question. Like, how do you feel like nepotism's affected you and your experience with your pops?
I feel like I never really thought about it right now, like
Mm-hmm.
that much. But it's definitely most of my comedy footwork is like just groundwork. Has been just me just creating a name for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would of course my dad has given me opportunities, but most of it is just like and my dad has raised me that way also, like where it's just like, nigga, you hungry? Like,
right.
Yeah.
go to your grandma's house.
So people
Go get some.
What?
So
nah,
you
like my
don't
dad
have-
was like
yeah.
really like just like I remember my dad. One thing I remember like my dad, like, cause my dad from Mount Vernon, I'm from Long Island.
Mhm.
I just distinctively remember one day my dad showing me how to take the train from Long Island to Mount Vernon. You know, like
Yeah, my
that
pops
trip,
did that.
like, and just learning like
So nice.
the signs and just like, yo,
Yeah.
niggas like, yo. My dad always was like really just like, he's not gonna baby me. That was just one thing. My mom, like living with my mom,
Yeah.
I experienced living with both of them.
Mm.
So living with my mom is just like, she's gonna do everything. Like she cooks like sometimes like she'll clean my room sometimes if I didn't clean my room or buy me clothes. It's just like, and then living with my dad's like the complete opposite. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, nigga.
I feel like our pops don't live regular lives either. Our
Nah,
pops, when
of
he
course
lived on
not.
his
My
own,
dad
was
grew up
like-
in the fucking.
Yeah.
It was also a different time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you turn 18, you 17, you got your own crib.
It was
like,
different.
you could support yourself with one job,
Yeah, it was
a
bad,
factory
right.
job. You know what I'm saying? My
Fact.
dad used to be like a manager at a factory.
Oh, wow.
Told me-
Talent built like a man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
He
I
is
could
built
see
like
him
a
at an
man.
assembly line.
I moved in with
working
my
hard,
dad,
Stevens.
bro. I tell you this, like, the nigga, like, the nigga bought a George Foreman grill. Nigga showed me how to make like burgers. He's
Yeah,
like, yo, you
that shit's
hungry,
lit.
nigga? Make a
Make a
burger.
burger.
I was at the
Make a
crib just
burger.
making my own like cheeseburgers and shit.
bad
Like,
boy.
all right,
I can see that.
if there ain't no burgers, like, nigga, walk to your
Yeah.
grandma's house. My grandma lived like 2 miles.
Yo, he was really over at
2
grandma's. He was
Right.
really at grandma's.
2
Yo,
miles.
go over
Yeah,
there and work.
every time you take a pause, it's like I'm thinking 2 blocks. It's like go walk your grandma. She live 2
Maybe
miles.
not too. I probably maybe a mile away. She don't live that far, but it was a calm walk to
Yeah.
grandma's
Yeah.
crib.
You
Bro,
took the-
grandma
So you
always
said you
cooked.
didn't even really think about it though, like nepotism, right? So you don't get that. I would assume that you would have heard from somebody
That's what I'm
like
saying.
around.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
nobody
okay.
said,
So
his
nepotism.
pops.
All right, Jobs. Duh. He definitely got me in the Carolines.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, me
see?
too.
So
I worked
that-
at Caroline's.
That's
pop
my
got me into
biggest.
Caroline's,
That
yup.
was my
Yup.
biggest.
This
Like,
is a
But
prime
tell
example.
people
Yeah.
what you
Nah,
do at
definitely.
Caroline's. He didn't get you in as a. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Yeah,
right.
yeah, be
Word.
specific, y'all.
but
Both of y'all.
literally,
Yeah.
literally, he got me the job there.
Yeah, right.
I just
And-
like, I don't know what
Yeah.
happened one day. I just
That's
was
a big
like,
something.
It
It's
is
a
a big
job.
something. It's a
It's a
But
job.
no, I'm saying like, okay, so in the form of nepotism, if you say your dad got you a job at Caroline's, people gonna think the association is he got you as a performer.
Oh,
Then when
Oh,
dad
no,
is
no,
in.
okay.
Oh,
He
how's he
got you-
getting gigs?
So
So
he
he
got
as
me-
somebody who doesn't
You know what I'm
have
saying?
that, I'm like, have you ever felt like seen that or whatever? Because
Well, to just really quick with his,
oh, you
like,
just wanted me to be clear about like,
yeah,
because
What
when
you
I
do.
people
started
see
off
you
as a
there now
server like
performing,
you.
got that
I
shit
started,
for yourself.
yeah.
Right.
The performance definitely. It was my dad got me in the room. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Because I'm just
Right.
saying like, essentially they didn't like, I didn't even really go through an interview process. It was just essentially my dad's relationship with that club. They just heard, oh, this is your son? Oh, just tell him to come in, fill out paperwork. Pretty much like hired me on the spot as a server.
Yeah.
Worked there a few years. I was working there when the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially stopped working there, came back when everything opened up.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually it just became like I had to pick comedy or work here because it's
Right.
like the hours is just like it's
Right.
conflict.
Yeah.
But that's probably the biggest nepotism like
Yeah.
that I take
You
advantage
even
of. You know,
said-
just getting me in
yeah.
that room, and then like
yeah.
from there I got opportunities. It's like, oh, you do stand up comedy? You wanna do our amateur night? Do the amateur night, kill it. Like,
Mhm.
and then just from there, just building a relationship is just like a
Yeah.
couple years. Oh, it's like, oh, you getting stronger. Like, just like
Yeah.
hearing like the feedback, like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You even said off top how even if you get a job, like you gotta kind of still prove that you can handle it. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
That you
I'm
can
saying
do it.
like that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so,
My
like,
dad
you-
got
that's
me.
been your
My dad got
experience.
me in the room, but
Yeah,
essentially
you
it's
had
like
to do your own work.
I have to produce
Right.
in
Mhm.
order to
Yeah,
stay in the
of
room.
course.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's not everybody's experience, but I do get that that's yours, and I guess that's
Yeah.
why you didn't even think of, like you said, you didn't even think of it as
Yeah.
nepotism because you had to do so much of the work on your own.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you understand what you took from your pops, but it hasn't like been something that's been clear to you in your journey so
Yeah.
much because
Mhm.
you're like, oh, I'm doing all the work on my own, so I ain't even thinking about it like
yeah.
that.
Right.
I wouldn't
You know
even
what I
say all of it, but it's definitely
Not all of it, but you know
It's
what
like
I mean. Well,
you
when
just
every
taking
time you get on
advantage of the
stage,
ooh.
that's you.
Yes,
That's
how
what I
you
mean.
been?
Yeah.
You
Taking
singing
advantage of
about
it.
and
Word.
talking it.
Exactly.
You see what I did there?
Beautiful.
What what about you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
What about me?
Talk about the nepotism
With
part for
Caroline's?
you.
I
Yeah.
thought I went first. Nah,
No,
yeah.
you kind of
I
been
mean,
asking us, so we wanna.
Oh yeah, I be on my 60-minute shit.
We
I'ma
know.
get going. Word.
But
You
it's
know?
like you would say that
Anderson
you never
Cooper.
got directly like, so we would say we got
Oh, I don't know,
directly
man.
got
Yeah.
jobs
Yeah,
from.
Right.
yeah,
What would you
I
say
mean,
the
like,
biggest
kind of-
opportunity you
For you.
received?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of we spoke on it before, man. I feel like I don't do. My world isn't focused on comedy, right? In any way. I'm interested in the world of entertainment
Mhm.
because of
Right.
me watching my pops in comedy growing up,
Mhm.
but that's not what I got into. Nor have I ever worked for or intimately with my dad. So everything that I've chased that's associated with my pops, everything that's had to do with him has kind of been in my initial meetings or in the moments where somebody finds out who he is. And that really just impacts how they converse with me as far as how they feel like they can take advantage of that relationship. Maybe
Mhm.
my pops will come by to the job or something, or maybe get some comics to do a night at the place or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And which I never do with
Yeah.
nobody because that's just not something that I don't have that kind of relationship with my pops.
Mhm.
We had the conversation before. I don't think of him as a comic. He's just my pops and he's funny.
Yeah.
So when I'm in situations like that, it's just a little weird for me because I don't think I've ever felt myself directly gain anything from my pops, but I felt relationships go a weird way because of how people associate me with him. And I don't think my father ever reached a level of celebrity where there's been any outright advantages that have come from it that I could clearly outline in my journey. What I can say is there are people that won't take me serious because of their assumption that my pops is giving me opportunities that he isn't. Like when I did Sway,
Mhm.
the New York Kings happened to have a show, or I happened to have an interview with Sway right after that.
Oh.
So when I
shit.
got out of my freestyle and my interview,
Which
I
he
was your
killed, by the
pops,
way.
my pops, and I appreciate
Killed
you.
it, killed
I
it.
dapped him up in the hallway, and that was a fly moment to me because I kind of
Mhm.
felt like my dad is like how many people could say that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Just like we used like when you
It just
you
had
do
nothing,
shows with your
nothing to
dad.
do with your pops.
Nothing to
It
do with
just
him. He didn't hook that
coincidence.
up or nothing. That was me and Rock. We went to Caroline's because Sway was doing that comedy thing every year. Caroline's. We
Mhm.
sent the music. We built the relationship there, and but just having people just associate those moments with, oh, well, you know how that happened. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, that hurts more than it helps. And that's not my pops doing that. That's not malicious on his end. He's limited in what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For the specific field that I'm in, as far as getting me validity in that. And so I guess based on that, that's why my association with the term is, I guess, just a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I can't really think of the advantages, but I could think of. But that Caroline shit, same thing as you. He did get me a job at Caroline's, and that was great money. But you know, I don't want to say too much about Caroline's or Mike. But my pops, he put me on with that. That was fly. I was there like a good 2 years. Yeah. And I met a lot of the comics that I'm still cool with today, like Nico White, you know, Babbitt, all of these guys, you know, meshing them. So, you know, fly.
You got removed from the premises.
I removed myself.
You removed yourself.
I removed myself from the premises. And it wasn't very nice.
I heard something
It was
about the
bad.
kitchen. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
I don't know. I don't remember the exact.
I'll tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
something.
Let me off air.
Not on here.
Well, Tom, do you feel any guilt at all?
Hell no, man.
These niggas don't care.
Hell no. I dig that, bro.
Guilt,
Fuck
man.
no.
I don't know why.
Work
I
for
feel guilty
yours.
all the time.
It's like we need reparations. This is the
That's
least that could
fair.
happen. And like,
That is really fair.
You're in a very distinct space though, Jerrica.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, like your dad's level is different. You'll have people on a very high chain that would, you know, try to utilize you for the advantage of having specific type of access to JB.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's why I don't be telling people. But now
Yeah.
with this fucking podcast coming
Yeah.
out, good luck.
snitching
Now
on
everybody's gonna know.
yourself.
I usually don't tell a lot of people because you
Yeah.
can't really guess.
Yeah.
Like, we don't look that much alike. Like, we look alike if I'm standing
I see
next
it.
to him because you know him.
Yeah.
But, like, off rip, you just saw me in the street and be like, that looks like JB's. Like, no one's gonna
Nah,
do
yeah,
that.
probably not.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel guilty if I take too long of a nap. I'm like, why am I not working harder? Like, I don't know if it's the Capricorn in me
I think that's
sometimes.
just America.
Also, I
That's
think it's
just-
American.
That's
Yeah.
deep, bro.
In
That's a
entertainment, we
fact,
don't
though.
really get a break. You know, we bust
Mhm.
our ass all the way until like 2 weeks before Christmas,
Yeah.
and then we get like a 2-week break,
Yeah.
and it's great, and then we're right back.
Ain't no
with
Monday
more.
through Friday schedule.
And you feel guilty like taking off a weekend. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
maybe I should organize myself on Sunday for
Yeah.
Monday. You know, and it sucks.
I think a lot of things entrepreneurial function that way because I could say that
Yeah.
I feel the same way, and I'm sure y'all feel the same way. I mean,
Mhm.
y'all go more than, especially in comedy, you go a few days without doing shows.
Yeah.
That,
Sure
that
feels
rustiness
weird.
could kick in real
Yeah.
quick.
You
I'm
go a
familiar
week
with
without
comics saying that.
performing and
yeah.
go crazy.
Yeah, what's the longest y'all have gone since y'all have been doing comedy serious
Mhm.
without
Well, the pandemic,
stand
so probably like
Oh.
4 months. Like what is
Yeah.
it like?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
2
Yeah.
months, 4 months.
So
Y'all did
like
the car
from
show.
March to
Mhm.
What?
I think he did one of the
In
first
June.
out the
What?
yeah.
You gotta catch me up.
What was they honking for laughs?
Yeah, they was
instead of
doing
laughs?
like during COVID, they were doing like drive-through comedy shows.
Yeah.
My
That's so
pops was
cool.
doing them
Was it
too.
only
Ray
a
DeJean
year?
was hosting.
Sounds
a lot of them.
cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to
You know
Ray.
Ray.
Wait,
is
you mean
like
sounds
DJ
cool?
Khaled
Yeah.
with his comedy
He said
shows.
I don't-
sounds cool.
From what I heard, it wasn't.
What is it
Ray
like?
DeJean
No,
is the DJ Khaled.
Do you
of
hold like
comedy.
a speaker outside with a mic? Like, how you doing
I never
drive-through
saw
comedy?
Shout out to Ray
Like,
DeJean. He
People
set
had
it
their
up.
windows open,
Right.
I guess,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
You
the
just sit
other
in their car in the
way.
parking lot. They had the windows open, and he set it up with the speakers, and you would stand on some crates.
Great.
And it was in June, and his father was headlining, and I went just to watch. And his father was like, "I know you're doing 5," and I was mad scared because it was 4 months off,
Yo, the
and I
talent
was
was
like
crazy.
contemplating life.
Yeah.
I was contemplating like,
hasn't told a joke in 4
yeah,
months.
I was legit telling
I know
my
you
parents
doing
for the
5.
last 5 years.
And when they
Yeah,
say
5,
5,
You
you don't
mean,
do
yeah,
5.
he's not
Yeah,
doing
nah,
five.
that's like
you
a
do
rule of
like
thumb.
7,
That's
Yeah,
funny.
nah, that's a fact.
8.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's
But
my-
it's like people was honking for laughs, right?
yeah. So, but it worked. though.
Wait.
Yep.
First of all, when you hear a
That's probably
horn,
lit,
it's
though.
already
I don't
like
know. It just-
anxiety.
Yeah, like that
'Cause
just
when
seems like
it's
too
like-
much. Oh, I just thought it was cold.
gotta,
but
like-
actually be
Nah,
you're
it was
laughing.
COVID. Like
You gotta be like, oh.
You can't hear him through the windows roll
But,
down.
but Ray
Nah,
DeJean is
bro.
gonna get to a check. Nigga.
Yo, it works.
That nigga Ray always got something.
Shout out to
going on.
Ray
He gonna be
DeJean,
in your
man.
diners. That nigga
That's
Ray.
really funny.
No, it
Word.
worked as a reward system though, because it's set up, punch, and then they laugh. So set up, punch, car horn. And you just got like, yeah.
Nah, that's a fact. I mean, it
I
works.
hear
It
it. I
just
just
sounds
couldn't
Because I
crazy
would
on
do my
paper.
joke, and then I would hear ha 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 ha, and I would let that shit air
Niggas
out.
probably booing too like that though. Like, get this nigga out of here.
No, it would be, no. You would bomb
Right.
if it was dead silent and you got no horns.
Niggas
It
is-
really hit. It really hit like if you bombed at
Remember
a show.
Drumline? Remember when niggas used to do the
Yo.
solo, and then the niggas would be like, they'll flash the lights if they like you.
Yeah.
Yo, I
Niggas
kid
is-
you.
That's my shit,
Same
drumline.
I kid you
That's
not. I
right.
did one
Yes,
joke one time, and it was so bad. I legit saw somebody in the car like this, and then rolled the window up.
Oh.
I was like, "Fuck it, your sunroof
son.
open."
Nah, that's wild.
Oh my god.
No, that's crazy.
Oh, I wish I would have saw that. That's funny.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
That's wild.
that's so funny.
Nepotism, man.
How do we get to that though? How do we even get to that story? I got lost
don't
in
I don't
the,
know.
in the call
It's
horns.
okay. We can just keep rolling.
All right, whatever.
But,
But yeah, no, you are in a different space.
Yeah.
I think you're in a completely different space as far as the way that you could get snaked. Nobody could really utilize my pop against me. Where we are, like
Right.
it's just an adult relationship. I'm 31 years old. There's nothing that my pop got that somebody could like vibe with me to try to get.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
is. That
I think even
association.
if we take the celebrity thing off the table, like anybody, let's say
Mhm.
my dad was CEO at Bed Bath & Beyond or something,
Yeah,
and I needed a job,
yeah,
I would call him, right?
yeah,
I know somebody at American Express. I saw a job come up. I called them. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I really want to apply. Can you help me push my... I'm going to just use what's around me. And I
course.
think, you know,
but
it's,
nobody
it's,
would use that against you because well,
Fair.
no, they can.
they still can use that
They can
against
because
me,
it's
right?
connection. But I just feel like people associate that with networking more than they do with the connection in the same way. Because I think we kind of touched on that a little earlier, like when we was talking about the train like MTA workers and everything. Like I know most people that I know that work for the MTA got that
put
through a
on.
plug.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the expectation there with those jobs.
Well,
I mean,
they,
with a lot of city jobs. So
they get plugged in like once they get
Yeah.
on the job, they get plugged in like, maybe like they push them in certain places, but yo, it is what it is. You either had that or you didn't.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
and
no,
it's
at the end of
like-
the day, that's what it gotta be. Word. I feel like
Because you can
can't
sit
trip
there all
over it.
day and you could think about, damn, such and such is only in the position that he's at because his daddy
Yeah.
got him there. But then, yo, regardless or not, shit, like, what am I going to do?
Right.
So you can think about that shit if you want to or you want, but
Yeah. It's a weird thing to trip over if you're the person like in the position. Because I feel like it's an annoying thing that people do, but you know what you're earning and what you're not.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have to. Like, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
internally. And if you don't, then you're already in the worst space anyway. If you're
Mhm.
completely oblivious to what you're getting off of the strength
Yeah.
of your own work. You know what I mean? As frustrating as it could be, like even in your position to have to prove it, you know you can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yeah, we can't trip over it.
I think I also try to give back too. So like if I have friends
Mm-hmm.
that I know are kicking ass and they're like, and I need them for something, those are the first people I go to. I don't go to Fiverr. I don't do any
Yeah.
of those like little freelance websites. I go to
Mhm.
people that I know. I'm like, yo, we're all gonna eat. Like I'll
That's a
take y'all
fact.
with me. If you can like show me that
Mm-hmm.
you know how to do your job, I need you to do some graphic design work. I need you to come record. I need you to come edit, do some
Mhm.
clips. Like I will make sure that
That's how it
person's put
should
on.
be. I feel like if you can, you should do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I feel like in a way I'm like, okay, I'm giving back, so I shouldn't feel so guilty because I'm helping like other people. But you know, I still
Yeah.
feel guilty.
To all you people that freelance work out there and everything and are looking for cover art designers and people that do logos and things like that, though, do make sure that if you're working with friends that they're actually good at what they do. Don't try to like skip out on paying $30 by
What is
Yeah.
having
what
your
is
man
friend
do-
nepotism called?
Yeah, bro.
Nepotism. It says relative. Oh,
it's
Some
called
people-
it said,
networking.
yeah. It's
This is
networking.
called
What he
regular
said.
Some people be
It's
trying to make move with their dogs and their dogs do not got it.
You gotta
That's
do the
fair.
Like,
that
you
is
can't-
very true.
You got
Please
it.
make sure they up to par.
Right.
I be looking at my friends stuff, testing them out, and they good.
Yeah,
good.
yeah, right.
You know?
Man, what?
And I
Yeah.
will put you
Mhm.
on. We all gonna eat.
Yeah.
I think
Like-
specifically like in our community,
Mm-hmm.
we don't put each other on enough because of these fears. But meanwhile,
Yeah.
like, I'm not trying to make it a color thing or anything, but like, white people really do not have no competition amongst each other. Maybe at like the richest
Mhm.
level, but like,
Mhm.
when it comes down to it, a white person will reference a white person hands down.
100%.
No
Mhm.
thought. Like in comedy, you get referenced into clubs,
Mhm.
and like white comics, they do it for each other, no thought.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that white people don't reference like a white comic would have referenced a black comic, but like they really look out.
For each other.
Mhm.
No second thought of competition. They look
Yep.
out. Versus like with us, sometimes we feel like, oh, there can only be 5 at a time or whatever, and you start
There
like,
can only be a few black guys at a
Yeah.
time.
It's like beef culture kind of transcends in the
Can't be
comedy
like
too,
that.
yeah. Because
No,
you
you
never see
can't.
white comics doing interviews about each other, like going crazy about each other either.
No,
I've seen
they
that a
don't.
lot with black comics.
Right.
Cat
It's
done
just
got at
different.
everybody.
Oop. And oop.
Yeah.
I fuck with Cat.
What's the verdict? The verdict
Edit.
on nepotism. Nah,
What's the verdict
What's
on
the
nepotism?
verdict?
What's the verdict? I don't know.
Is it negative or positive?
It's supposed to be a verdict.
I don't know. We don't have to.
It's in how you interpret it. You can't give it no power. As our esteemed guest Julio Diaz said, you know, it's in how you entertain it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just don't give it no power, dog. End of the day, it's an interesting conversation.
It is.
You know,
That was fun.
but I don't think there's any one answer. You know, but I know I'm everything that I'm getting and everything that I'm succeeding at and everything that I'm achieving is off of the strength of experiences and knowledge that I've gained from everything around me and everybody around me. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, I can never take full credit for anything that I've accomplished. But as far as the degree to which I work, nobody can take that away from me. Nepotism, whatever you want to put that on. And I feel the same way about y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm aware of enough of everybody who's sitting here right now to know that y'all are getting what y'all are getting off of the strength of y'all ability in addition to people that have assisted you.
Yo, Julio Diaz, where could the people find you?
You can find me on every single social media platform at Julio Diaz Comedy. That includes my Venmo, my Cash App. I even have my website, www.juliodiazcomedy.com.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's lit. This is
I gotta get it up and running, but I purchased it.
I got a guy for that.
Wait. You purchased it though.
Yeah,
you did. You got the domain.
I got a
the
guy
domain.
for that.
That's
Yeah.
fly.
Yo, you on
you.
every
it's
single
lit.
social media?
And I don't know how I got it, but every single social media.
Julio Diaz.
So you on the
Straight
one?
up.
You on the
That's
one that
fire.
Donald Trump is on?
What do you mean?
The
What's
social.
it-
Oh,
what's
he
his
got
shit
his
called?
own.
No, I'm fucking
You
with
on
you.
that? He's all. I
What's it
looked at him.
called?
I'm like, hold up.
I was like, wait, what do you mean?
That's
How
a
we ain't talking
commitment.
about that?
The alt-right one. No?
It's
Yo,
not
that's
called
crazy.
alt right.
Even on Mi Gente, MySpace, I went back to make sure I could secure that too.
Black Planet.
Black Planet.
Black Planet.
Pornhub, Julio Diaz Comedy, my OnlyFans. Yo,
Look at y'all.
That's
come on.
fly.
Instinct.
Shit is
That's
yeah.
fly. You ahead of the curve, my boy.
Love that for you.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. We're going to do an all counter. I'll have that done in editing. Okay, cool. Thanks for listening. Peace.